Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us here today for this very special interview. My name is Pixel Dan, and I am here with the folks from Hasbro's Marvel brand team. And it's going to be a lot of fun today because we are going to talk about a very exciting new line from the Marvel team over at Hasbro. So I want to start by allowing everybody here on this interview to introduce themselves. So take it away, guys.
Hey Dan, thanks for joining us today. Everyone, I'm Ryan Ting. I'm with the Hasbro Marvel marketing team.
I'm Tony Clulla. I'm the master model artist slash designer on these figures.
Hey Dan, good to see you again. Master model maker, that's incredible. I am the design and development director for Marvel here at Hasbro. My name's Steve Evans. That helps as well. So just know me. So just know who I am.
Awesome. Well, Steve, Tony, Ryan, thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited because we get to talk about something brand new that nobody else knows about yet. And it's totally something that is in my personal wheelhouse, something that I absolutely love to collect. So who wants to tell us all about this brand new Marvel toy line to get things started?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. This is something we knew you would like, Dan, with your take on retro toys. And it's something, we've been working on for several years. We're super excited about it. A lot of us on the Marvel team are fans ourselves. We grew up with Marvel comics and all the sorts of toys. So it was a really fun idea to kind of capitalize on a lot of retro toy trends you see. But as we kind of looked at the space, we saw that there's several different approaches, whether it's reissuing figures as we knew and loved them and continue to do so, or taking a new spin the way that some of the other companies in the space are doing. And so, we were super excited to work on it. Tony and I are probably the biggest two collectors, I want to say, on the Marvel team. We're like trading Instagram posts, over the weekend of cool things we see. So this was just really bringing our passion for growing up with the toys and, bringing it to a new segment that we think will appeal to both longstanding collectors and also casual fans of Marvel as well.
Excellent. So Tony and Ryan are the biggest collectors. Where does that leave you, Steve? You don't collect those?
Probably maybe the eldest. The eldest collector. I'm the sort of the Kenner aspect. I mean, as you probably know, I used to work on Star Wars for a good number of years. I've been playing with Kenner since I was 5.
Yeah.
I've been collecting Kenner since I was 16, and that was 32 years ago. So, I'm happy to be on board. I'm happy to be on the Marvel team now. I only just joined in February. So seeing what these guys are up to, I'm pretty excited. I'll be honest with you.
Awesome.
Pretty happy.
Hey, that's a great way to kick this off, I think. We're talking about Marvel. Steve's talking about Kenner. It kind of seems like we've got a little bit of a theme going on here. So what is this new toy line? What is the name of this brand new line we're talking about today?
So this new line is brought to you by Marvel Legends, but it's not what you have known Marvel Legends to be before. This is Marvel Legends Retro 375. And by that, of course, we mean the 3.75 figure scale, particularly, bringing that Kenner heritage in, that 5-point articulation that Kenner popularized, with Star Wars to start and then expanded to a whole host of other brands. But as we're looking at the history of Marvel toys, they didn't really play too much in the three scale back in the day. There was a little bit of Mego action, but it wasn't really widespread. I think what we're most familiar with is probably the Secret Wars line that led into the Toy Biz era, the glorious era that we all loved, in a 5-inch scale, had some more action features. And so, we're just kind of like blending different parts of the mythology and the toys into this new offering that it's basically asking the hypothetical of, if Kenner had the Marvel license back then, what could they have possibly come out with? And because Kenner is now part of Hasbro, we're able to bring it out.
It's the ultimate what if.
Yeah, it's to echo that Marvel comic. to echo the Marvel comics. What if Kenner had this Marvel brand back in the day, and what if we created these 3.75-inch figures, and what does that look like? What does that nostalgia bring out, and what kind of aesthetics can we bring to this product that will make everyone that is a fan of Kenner and of Marvel really get excited when they look at this thing?
That's awesome. So that should be the name of the line right there. Marvel What If 375. See?
Oh, there you go. You gotta rebrand. That's it.
You better rebrand. No, that's a really fun idea. So you guys were talking about some of the retro stuff. And of course, I love the retro the retro Toy Biz figures, you know, they're typically we're in the 5-inch scale, like you said. And we have seen Marvel in smaller scales before, like the Mego Pocket Heroes were around 4 inches, but you guys are going the more traditional retro Kenner route with these, and they are 3 3/4 inches, 3.75 inches, hence the 375 in the name, correct?
You got it. You got
Correct.
it.
It's not the price point.
That's not the price point.
I know, secondary markets. You know.
Awesome. So I've got some of these here. Can I show off what we've got here? We can start talking about them.
Yeah, let's take a look. And, you know, in addition to for Tony kind of leading the design of all the character sculpts and the deco, you know, our amazing packaging team really knocked it out of the park. We can talk more about the art later, but it's really that complete package of both, you know, the figure and also what it would look on a minty fresh, unpunched card here.
Very important. Very important.
All right,
Let's
so
take a look at some, Dan.
yeah, let's do it. So the way I understand it, the figures are going to be offered in 2 packs, correct? So they're going to come in these boxes, which have a very cool comic cover aesthetic to them with some awesome artwork there. And then as we open up each of these boxes, we get those minty fresh retro card backs we were just talking about. Ooh, look at that. Look at that beautiful Spider-Man right there. Very cool retro inspired packaging. Definitely has that Kenner feel to it with the figure in the blister bubble. You got the artwork off to the side. It even has the Kenner logo on the package, which is awesome. We get a bio and the little cutout trading card, which is so great. That's like classic Toy Biz kind of stuff right there with the little cutout trading card. So yeah, right here I've got the Spider-Man and Electro set.
Yes, and they questioned me on Electro, Ryan, when I said Electro needs to be wave 1, but nothing screams 70s, 80s to me like Electro. So I feel like that's our introduction to the big bad.
That was a good call. That was a good call. There is nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Piece, man.
And that nostalgia we're talking about, that's really carrying through from the figure to the packaging. You know, we had this great artist, John Tyler Christopher. He's done a lot of packaging for us. And he did some really great comic covers that kind of echo the Marvel Legends packaging. And he was super excited. Our packaging team worked with him to kind of create this all original artwork. But, you know, with the thinking of like a Sal Buscema or a Ditko or a John Byrne or anything, all those great retro artists, the masters essentially, what would they look like on pack, and just kind of channeling that energy, that nostalgia, and really come through hopefully on these packagings.
I just don't know how many people are going to cut out that trading card on the back.
Yeah.
Buy 2. If you get two packs.
You better buy 2 of them so you can cut it out.
Yeah, I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, we all know that these kind of retro action figures, the packaging is as important. It's the whole package. It's that emotional connection you immediately get when you see it, even when it evokes Kenner, because we know that Kenner didn't do these, but just that 3 3/4 inch styling and aesthetic that we know is instantly Kenner, that very straight, very kind of slightly flat chest, and just the sort of slight triangle of the musculature, the 5-point articulations, although this has, Tony, right? It's got it has the forearm articulation.
The forearms will rotate, yep.
And it's just, I mean, I came to the team in February and I said, hey, what are you excited about? What have you been working on? And they said, oh, we're going to do this Kenner 3 3/4 inch line for Marvel. And I was like, what? Hey? And they said, no, listen, look. And I said, if Kenner did it in like 40 years ago, around 1980, this is what it would be like. Wouldn't that be amazing? I said, listen, I come from Star Wars. I've got my Star Wars figures all lined up there. I saw those things. I said, now I know where my next Detolf shelving thing's going to be and what's going to be in it. It's this stuff, because it's just, that is Kenner. You know, we have numerous people that come from Kenner's. You know, Kenner came into Hasbro and everyone moved up from Cincy and, you know, worked with Mark Boudreau, and Dwight, I believe, was an intern at Kenner. So Kenner is in our DNA. It's in our bloodstream. So seeing something like this that is different and fresh and yet 100% Kenner and 100% Marvel is just, I don't know. I'm really excited. I just love it. I just love them. They're beautiful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, you guys are talking about the figures. So I do have the loose examples here too, so we can take a closer look at them. And you guys are talking about these being like in the retro aesthetic, but like not in the same way that you guys have like the retro Star Wars figures that are out there, where they're like full on 80s Kenner figures. Like these are done in the style, meaning like the articulation is similar to what you'd see on a retro figure, but it still has a bit of like a modern sculpted look to it, correct?
Definitely. One of the challenges here with our incredible sculptors, our partners in sculpting, is kind of challenging them to think about the restrictions that they had in the 80s and creating the figures back in the day, sculpting and tooling and all that stuff. But we wanted to invoke that nostalgia through that appearance, but we also wanted to kind of modernize it just a little bit, create it a little more heroic or villainous in that case, right? When we're showing these sculpts off. So you nailed it right on the head. It's retro, but a little bit more modern.
Yeah, the Electro is awesome. I mean, the way the mask looks on the face and everything is fantastic. And you guys were talking about the articulation. It is more than 5 points because, you got the head that turns left and right, the shoulders move up and down, but you do have that wrist swivel there, like right at the glove cut. And then just the legs move forwards and backwards. But I'll tell you that like they feel so good in your hand. Like they just have that very retro toy feel to them. They're very nice, very solid.
And doesn't that scale just speaks to me too? It's like little pocket size you can put in your pocket and go. I don't know. There's something about that size that's super appealing to me.
I mean, I know there's a lot of 3 3/4 inch figure fans out there, and there's not a lot of offerings for them these days. So this is definitely something I can see being very exciting for fans of this particular scale specifically.
I think Tony and the team did an incredible job of getting that sweet spot. I mean, Tony was saying where it's like it's paying homage, it's being very respectful to the figures in those days. You had the comic action heroes into the pocket heroes from Lego.
Yeah.
You had then Kenner went in. Kenner was playing around with like they had the Star Wars line, and then they were starting to kind of explore within the indie line where they were adding knee joints and things and starting to stylize. And then they obviously went into superpowers and kind of went up in scale and added more bulk and kind of stylization. So this. If you draw those lines of inspiration and homages and love and collectability, and they all intersected, I think Tony and the team have done a great job in hitting that exactly where everyone sees it as of that time, 40 years ago, rough and tough. They can hypothesize of whether it could actually exist, and if it was made in those times by Kenner, would it look like that? I think it does. I'm very critical on that. That's one thing I think it had to be spot on. And I don't know, it's irresistible. I just look at it and go, I want that. Like I want that, and I want to love that, and I'm okay with that. It's like
that was my end goal, really. I mean, I appreciate and love the consumer, but I just want to make Steve happy.
And thanks
for this interview.
Well, you did it, and it's not easy. You can ask my wife and kids that.
now we can go. Now we can go global. Now we can make everyone else happy. But I already won.
Well, I definitely think it's a bit of a popular kind of aesthetic right now too, right? Like retro's cool. There's a lot of retro throwback stuff out there, especially in the toy aisles right now. And, I get it. We get nostalgic for this kind of stuff. And it's always cool to get the modern, super articulated figures like Marvel Legends. But sometimes it's fun to kind of, tickle that nostalgia a little bit and get something fun like this. And, this is obviously something that's going to live right alongside Marvel Legends, correct? So we'll have the super articulated stuff, the deep dive stuff, but we can also do this really fun retro nostalgia kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Marvel Legends 6-inch scale, like tons of waves every year. There's no slowing that train. But this was just something to add on top of it a little bit too. And like you said, it'll look great with the modern, fully articulated Legends. But what was really fun about this and sitting down with Tony from the team in the early stages to kind of like wave plan is it's a brand new sandbox for us. So all the characters, it's going to be the first time. So we get to go back to the Iron Mans, the Captain America, the Spider-Man, and it's not, here's the 50th 6-inch Iron Man that everyone kind of joked about. But no, like these are the iconic versions, a lot going back to those 80s, 70s, 80s style designs, and kind of everyone is on the table for us again for the very first time, which is really exciting. These are available in 2 packs as we saw. So what's special about this year is we're celebrating the release of them on the Pulse. So there are several 2-packs, as you'll see, but we already have, you know, the 2021 line baked. It's going to be a mainline execution in 2021. We just have a really early sneak peek on the Pulse exclusively in those really fun kind of comic book art inspired shipper boxes, full color, that look great. They're nice to hold in your hand. It's almost the dimension of a comic book, but like not quite. It's a little smaller, but they sit really nice in there, and they'll get to the consumers in perfect condition. We actually worked with the engineer to make sure that these special first edition, which they have the sticker on the front, so looking backwards, you'll see that these were the 2020 versions, and yeah, they'll be unpunched. So, you know, when ultimately this line is at retail, and when you're walking through there, you're probably going to find them sitting on the pegs. So just being able to do that unpunched in the nice box, coming to you in great condition, we felt was a nice way to give the collectors a little bit of a head start on this.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, I noticed the first edition gold foil sticker on the front of those, and I meant to ask about that, so I'm glad you brought that up. So those are specifically on the 2020 releases through Pulse. Yep. So that'll be a good collector item for you guys.
That's right.
And even just a nod, you know, Ryan brought up the shippers as well. One of my favorite parts of this, not only do you get this like original box art for these guys, but as you can see up at the top, it echoes that Marvel Comics Presents, which was, you know, some of my early comics, my earliest memories of comics were Marvel Comics Presents, where it was kind of putting those two unlikely heroes or combining stories together of these heroes and villains, and just that being able to tie these 2-packs together was really special to me. And I was glad to have that nod to the comics that gave so much to me at a young age, and be able to kind of wrap something up in that and be able to kind of tell that story of these 2-packs and creating those original artworks. So I'm excited to dip into the other 2-packs as well.
Awesome. All right. So we had Marvel Comics Presents Spider-Man and Electro. The next up we've got presents the Invincible Iron Man and the Uncanny X-Men. So we got Iron Man and Cyclops together as a 2-pack. That's amazing. So
right. That's a team up that I've always wanted to see, right? Like Cyclops and Iron Man, why not? You know?
I love it.
Yeah, and again,
Playboy, it's brilliant.
and wrapping that story of Marvel Comics Presents and the history of that comic, and being able to say, yeah, Iron Man and Cyclops, why not? You know, just X-Men and Avengers together is always cool. So having that story wrapped up like that is just super special for me.
It's good. Yeah. I'm a sucker for Cyclops, that Boy Scout. Yeah, Dan, where's Cyclops? Have you got him?
Where is he? All right, here's Cyclops.
Look at that outfit. It's brilliant. It's just
got the skull cap, the blue and yellow. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's lovely. Look at it.
And I'll tell you what, man, this Iron Man has got me feeling super nostalgic, because that screams Secret Wars Iron Man. Oh my goodness.
100%. Yeah, heavy inspiration from Secret Wars Iron Man, and then also one of my early figures was the Toy Biz with the snap-on pieces. So that's going through my head when I created that as well. So it was nice to finally see these things in real life.
Fun fact about that Iron Man figure, when we were concepting the line and putting together the pitch, and I believe this is one of, if not the first, the very first prototype that you grew to kind of show everyone. And so that was like, that Iron Man layout art was like the first art that we had JTC do for us, and we used it in all of our pitch meetings. So that Iron Man has been with us from the very start, and now he's in the box there with Cyclops. It's awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. That's so cool. Yeah, here's the loose figure. He is absolutely gorgeous. Like this, I don't know, something about this Iron Man just totally gives me that nostalgic feeling you guys are talking about with these. I love it. The colors, like that yellow and the red, you know, it's not gold and red, or that it's just straight red and yellow. Very, very retro comic book look. I love it.
You got it. The color palette on this is incredible. And, you know, Tony could bore you for 60,000 days talking about the color theory and like getting the right amount of dustiness, I'll call it, off. Sure. It's a bright color, but it's just slightly off. And like, we've chatted many times on whether on the Star Wars or Marvel about color and how important it is. And like, I look at all of these and I'm like, yep. And the ones we haven't seen, yep. It's just, I just keep saying it's ridiculous.
I love it. Like the Cyclops has got like that very deep blue on there, right? Like it still looks nice and vibrant, but it's that darker blue color, which is contrasted with those bright yellows. Oh, it's gorgeous, guys.
And you always think about that, Claremont era Cyclops, where it's deep, heavy blacks with the blue highlights and just like that, trying to get that happy medium between black and saturated deep blue. And again, like you said, contrasting against the kind of yellow, orangey yellow tights and gloves. I know he screams that era to me. So it's all these figures do.
Those 10 down boots, man.
All right, I love it. Iron Man and Cyclops is easily one of my favorites, but this next one is really great too. This is the third release that you guys are also putting out. So this is Captain America and Black Panther. I love it. So there's the beautiful, beautiful mailer box right there, and we'll go ahead and pop this open so we can get those cards out of here. Look at that. So here we have T'Challa himself right there.
Very cool.
Look at those striking colors on that card back too. I love it. That orange in the background. So he really pops. The artwork does there.
Yeah, and kind of the throwback to this character too, just kind of hinting at the Blue Panther almost, where people give us a hard time when we put him in blues, but that's that era, man. He was blue with those deep blacks, and just echoing those highlights on that costume. And when you look at those comics from back in the day, he was blue.
Right.
He was Black Panther, but he was blue. So
right,
echoing those, trying to pay tribute to those artists and those colors is where we're at with that Black Panther. And this Star Spangled Captain America that you're about to show just makes me super happy.
Man, me too. This is another one that's got that great kind of Secret Wars vibe to it. He's got the very smooth uniform there, and the colors. The colors are fantastic. And he's got a shield. He's got a nice little accessory packed in there, which is great.
We did. Not all of the Cap figures back then had a shield, just saying.
Exactly.
There's no expense. And that does have a C-grip on it, a clamp, so it fits right over the wrist. Kind of when we're coming through designs on these, the figures from that era, does he hold it in his hand with like a peg, or do we do a clip? So we settle with the clip. I think it looks super, super nostalgic, and it makes me happy when you snap that thing on there.
Yeah, it works great. Yeah, so here's what the little C clamp looks like on the shield. Could clip right onto the wrist. Also, the wrist rotates, or you can just turn it right right in there. Yep, it's perfect.
Perfect answer, Tony. I know that keeps you up at night.
Exactly.
And then here's our Black Panther. So yeah, like you were saying, you kind of got that like bluish shading going on there with them, and then the gloves and the boots are a much brighter blue, but really does capture that look the way he looked in the comics there.
Yeah, and I always have I always picture Panther's Quest. Actually, funny enough, it was in Marvel Comics Presents. I always have that picture of him like kind of lunging and out of this like explosion, and that figure just screams that to me. So it's awesome to get that in the plastic. It was like I said, one of my first comics. So it's really cool to have that in the collection, especially Wave 1.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. All right, so that's 6 figures total right here, which all come in 3 different 2-packs, correct? And you said these particular sets here are all going to be available this year on Pulse?
That's right. I believe they're going to be up for pre-order as well during our PulseCon event. So we've got a bunch of reveals and some pre-orders that will be dropping on that day pretty soon. So it'll be looped into that, and they'll probably be shipping out to consumers, around December. We just tried to really rush them into 2020. So it's kind of a late release, but they will be this year for Pulse.
Excellent. But you did say that 2021, we're going to have like a full release with these, and sounds like there's a possibility for lots of characters.
Yeah. A lot of versions, we had this huge chart that Tony kind of whittled down. So we've got the whole plan baked for 2021. We've already seen the packaging, I believe, for like the first 2 waves, I want to say. Looking great. More of that same great artwork from JTC. And then, yeah, we're starting just as a team to plan 2022 for everything we do.
Wow.
And, you know, we're thinking of new ways on how to grow this segment that we love and we hope fans will love as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. I'm not expecting you guys to reveal anything else today, but I'm already keying into what the fans are going to be asking you. So yeah. I'm going to throw this out there with this scale, vehicles and play sets, right? I mean, come on.
we have to, right?
I mean, why don't we think of that? That's crazy. Like,
or more IKEA shelves, right, Steve?
Right. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, what I love about this is we're getting it out this year and really, really eager to hear what the fans think and for them to tell us what we should do with it. You know, like we're developing 22 at the moment. You know, it's this has got to be a back and forth. There's got to be that conversation. It's like, you like it? If you like it, what else? Who do you want to see? What do you want to see? You mentioned play sets and vehicles, et cetera, et cetera. You know, yeah, tell us what you think.
I just don't know if this line will be complete without a brand new Captain America Turbo Coupe or a Wolverine Mutant Cycle, you know, with the big claw on the front of the cycle.
I mean, I had the little Mego Spidey, the little buggy. With
yeah,
the little, like, pointy lip. Like, because I'm showing my age. I had the comic action heroes with the bent weird legs.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was my thing with the Invincible plane for Wonder Woman and the Spidey car.
That's amazing.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, we don't want to stop here. That's for sure. It's being fans of it ourselves. That's my favorite part about working for this team, is that, you know, most of the comments that we read are, you know, our own feelings too, and what we put into this stuff. So, you know, going to the Comic Cons, the shows and events, maybe not so much anymore, but at least right now. But, you know, listen to that feedback, positive or negative. You know, we always can do better. So keeping that kind of energy and listening to the fans and what they want, that's again one of my favorite parts of this team. Is I know Ryan and Steve and myself and Dwight and everybody else that's a part of this team are listening, you know, and we want to give people what they want because it's what we want.
And I think we're eager to have some fun. You know, with the crazy thing that's going on in the world at the moment with the pandemic and people kind of re-altering their lives and everything's changing speed. And, you know, we're seeing, you mentioned it, Dan, this kind of retro vibe coming back, this rise of retro, this need for simplicity. This, you know, you don't have much choice, to be perfectly honest with you, but this idea of harkening back to something that is just kind of simple and joyful and fun, just fun. And I think this line is kind of born, I wouldn't say out of it, but I think it's a little bit of an antidote to what everyone's feeling at the moment. And if we can have some fun and a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of community, I feel better already. I don't know about you.
I'm smiling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really well said. Really well said. Man, so some really exciting stuff going on here with this brand new line. Was there anything else we need to cover? Anything we missed, Ryan?
No, I mean, I just want to piggyback a little bit off Steve's really great insight that by us revealing these now and then, you know, they're not shipping until December, like we do get that extra benefit of time to hear what the fans' response is and what they want. Because if we had just launched this in 2021, it wouldn't be until the springtime. And then by that, we're already kind of further down the line for 2022 planning. So we're in a unique situation where we aren't really afforded this opportunity very often to release something and then actually kind of react a little quicker to some of the thoughts about it. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, I mean, we're fans ourselves, and hopefully that's apparent through a lot of the more modern things we're doing. But sometimes we get to go back and do these classic characters that fans in the 6-inch scale that we know fans are wanting. And this is just kind of a new way to tap into that.
Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Well, there you guys go. There's a sneak peek with lots of information on a brand new Marvel line from Hasbro, which is Marvel Legends Retro 375. I got that right, right?
Nailed it.
All right. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Remember that. Brilliant.
Well, Steve, Tony, Ryan, thank you guys so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with me about this and share all this with the fans.
Absolute pleasure. Keep up the great work, Dan.
Of course. Yeah, love the channel. I love all the work you've done. We've talked at a few conventions. It's great to talk to you again now. So keep all that great content coming.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you guys very
and
much.
I need to know where you got your shirt.
Yeah. I don't actually remember. I'll find one for you.
All right, cool.
Excellent. All right. Well, there you guys go. A look at the brand new Marvel Legends Retro 375 line. Be sure to stay tuned to Hasbro Pulse for the pre-order information. And looks like we're going to have a really fun new line coming out for 2021 next year. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And until next time.